Hello there, Geekwalker back, yet again. This is a special nighttime edition called the Nightwalker. Hopefully you won't be able to see too much. I say that because my friend Buddy Got, in his episode of The Walking Buddy, or as I like to call it, My Buddy and Me, was joined by a guest on his walking show, his girlfriend Lisa. I'm joined by a guest tonight as well. Batman.
Don't show me on the camera.
Man, I swear to God I won't.
Don't swear to God. Swear to me.
Why not?
Because I'm Batman.
Okay, well, you heard the man. He doesn't want to be shown, but Buddy has Lisa, I have Batman. So, probably can't see anything, which is going to make for a terrible video. But I don't care. There are some lights coming up. What I want to talk about is a couple of things. First is, there's a new WB show, another Batman, another DC related show coming up. This one is based on the Flash. They already have the Arrow show after the Green Arrow, and there's the Gotham show coming that I talked about the other day. This is ridiculous. There's literally no lights. Australia by night, even more dangerous. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know much about the Flash show. I haven't really looked at it. I just saw a brief mention of it. I'll probably check it out. Flash is a pretty cool character. Barry Allen's Flash, not Wally West. Wally West is a douche. Just want to talk about Warcraft novels. I talked about Blizzard in the past and being a big fan of their games. Especially a fan of the Warcraft universe. Now, some pretty addictive games in there. Warcraft 1, 2, 3, the real-time strategy games in World of Warcraft. This is ludicrous. I was extremely addicted to it, but I really am a big fan of the tie-in books. As a fantasy reader, I really like the lore behind them. If you like fantasy books, I really think you should give them a chance. There's a lot of them. You could start pretty much anywhere, but my recommendation is The Last Guardian by Jeff Grubb, which is a short novel covering the period of Warcraft 1. It's a very old game now, so it's hard to get to play that storyline. The reason I talk about it is this week I finished the newest novel by Cristie, who's a really good writer. She writes a lot of Blizzard's tie-in books. She's written Star Wars and Star Trek books as well. She's a pretty good author. She pumps those books out pretty quick, and she's written quite a few of the Warcraft books. And to me, I think she's probably written the best. The newest one's called War Crimes, which is set after the current expansion of World of Warcraft called Mr. Pandaria, and it's a prelude to the upcoming expansion. Warlords of Draenor covers the fallout of the Siege of Orgrimmar, the taking down of the war chief of the Horde, Garrosh Hellscream, and his trial. So if you're interested at all, I recommend you check it out. If you don't know anything about the Warcraft universe, maybe do a little bit of reading on Wikipedia or something. It's definitely a good book though. I still want to talk about Game of Thrones. There are a few spoilers here, so if you haven't watched the show or read the books, I suggest that you probably skip the rest. I want to talk about the Red Wedding, which is a pivotal moment in the book series, but not really for the reason people think. The Red Wedding, if you don't know, is one of the main characters. His army, his mother and several other of his followers are murdered during his uncle's wedding by a group he thought was his friends. the Frey House Frey, Walder Frey, it kind of turns the War of the Five Kings around. Now, a lot of people I've seen writing about it in response to the show, which happened last season, really focus solely on that as being a hit to the Starks. But I think it's more than that. There's little subtle hints coming in the show all the time. It's definitely stated through the books that the biggest thing that happened there was the breaking of guest right, basically in Westeros. That if you were invited into someone's household and they offered you salt and bread, I think's the wording, basically safety, food, then you were safe. Walder Frey broke that during the wet reading. And the fallout to that is actually really important to their world. Westeros is a really troubled place, a lot of infighting, backstabbing within the houses, shifting alliances. But the one thing they always had was guest right, and why that's important is, just like in our own world, it always left open the road to diplomacy. And diplomacy is important in a place especially that's so torn by war as Westeros. Because if you can't find peace, if you can't be safe attempting to talk with your enemies and make alliances and even end wars, then what can you? What can you do? The entire society just starts to collapse, and you're seeing that now. Because guest right's been broken now, little things have started to happen. Characters are acting in ways that they shouldn't. Because there seemingly is no end to their war now. There is no safe place, there is no diplomacy. It's all fallen apart. And that event, whilst it was crippling to the Stark army, it's really affecting the rest of Westeros. And it continues to do so in the books, and it will continue to do so in the series. And it's really weakened the Seven Kingdoms as a whole, which is a bad thing, because there's a shitload of White Walkers coming, and we are not going to be ready for them. I'm not part of Westeros, just in case you were wondering. So anyway, I really like to talk more about it, but I'm not going to, because you can't even see what I'm bloody doing. If you liked this video and want to hear more of my thoughts on Game of Thrones, sort of behind the scenes from what you see in the show or the books, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about the Red Wedding? If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Until next time, this is Geekwalker and Batman. Good night.